Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is ASICS with Meta Endurance and I'm together with Josh with Meta Endurance today. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing very good. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing good, thank you so much. We're in this new STRYD sponsored video. STRYD is a footpath that you can attach to your shoes. It can help you train with power, but in our case it's going to help us analyze our metrics and compare who's the most efficient between an elite, sub-elite runner like yourself and an amateur dude like me. We ran in the same shoe, Josh. What's the shoe we chose for this test?
The other day we ran in the ASICS Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, and it was an amazing shoe. It's one of my favorite race day shoes at the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see the metrics and how we stack up against each other.
I feel like you do have an advantage because my favorite shoe out of the two Metaspeeds is the Edge. And we went with the Sky. I gave you some advantage here. Let's see if the shoe helped me recover the small advantage you had over me.
Who knows? Who knows?
Without any further ado, let's look at our power center. That's where we can get all the STRYD metrics. Like we said, I think you're much more of an advanced runner compared to me. Your times, can you maybe share them with the audience because everyone doesn't know you necessarily? We'll put a link to your STRYD profile in the description, but for whomever doesn't know, Josh, what's your pedigree as a runner?
Okay, so for 5K, I've run roughly a 14:50, and I've done like 10Ks, 31:15, and then up to a half marathon and about 69:50. So yeah, that's roughly my benchmark in terms of performance.
Yeah, so you're definitely in a different category compared to me.
I don't know, for now.
I'm a 16:25 5K, 34 flats, 10K, and 1:17 half marathon runner. So, and you never ran the marathon, so that's the only place where I've been. You haven't explored yet.
Not yet.
But the day you do, you will definitely be faster than me. Anyways, I think it's interesting. We're probably more advanced than some people in general, but there's a difference between us. And the idea is to know how a shoe like the Metaspeed affects the running of a faster runner compared to someone a bit more average, let's say. Josh, let's start with the test itself. You said we ran 2K. What was the pace we set on the treadmill?
So we did 2K at 17 kilometers an hour with a gradient of 1% on the treadmill, which kind of held that along the whole way. So yeah.
So that's 325 minutes per kilometer, I guess.
I think it's 332.
332.
Yeah.
And then in minute per mile, that's roughly a 540, 535 minute per mile pace, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah. If you're wrong, we'll put something here showing the accurate pace, but I think that's pretty much it. Josh, first of all, what power output did you get for that 2K section?
So my average power was 310 watts. What about you, Alex?
Mine was 321, but then Josh, let's divide our power by our weight. So you're 310, what's your weight again, Josh?
My weight is 64 kilos.
All right, so Josh, you have a watt per kilo average of 484. Now, my power is 321 and I'm 66 kilos in the STRYD app because that's probably what I am today, and I'm 486 watts per kilo, meaning that Josh, you are more efficient. You produced a lower watt per kilo average compared to me over the same distance and the same pace on the treadmill, meaning that you're spending less power to move at the same pace. It makes you a more efficient runner in a way. But there's more metrics to uncover,
There are
Josh.
many more.
Hopefully I can win something here in this battle down the road. All right, Josh, the next one we're looking at is cadence. And here I think you must maybe explain before looking at your number the way you run. People will see it on the B-roll footage that we have for them, but what's your running style?
I'd say my running style is more suited to the Metaspeed Sky, which is more of a STRYD kind of longer gait cycle. I reach more for when I'm increasing my pace. I run a bit further, my steps go a bit further rather than increasing my cadence. So that's probably why my cadence is probably more similar along the whole thing, or when I go faster on paces rather than kind of increasing.
And interestingly, you're more of a Sky runner, but I think that my cadence is lower than yours over this test. What do you have?
I have a cadence of 175 steps per minute.
I'm doing 171.
Wow.
Yeah, and I prefer the Edge, right?
Really?
Which I think is also interesting because I always thought of the two shoes like one for forefoot runners and one for heel strikers. And I believe that you're more of a forefoot runner compared to me. I'm more of that heel to midfoot striker, and that's why I think the Edge is suiting me more. Okay. So, see, I think this is also interesting for the audience because many people thought of the two shoes as cadence versus STRYD length. And I do believe that there's this, and there's also the way you're striking the ground with your foot.
And so what do you think are the main differences between the two shoes as well?
I think that the Sky is for people who are pushing more on their forefoot, using more their quads, and being a bit more powerful. you're coming from a track background where you have that sort of explosiveness, and you know how to properly toe off and create a lot of lots of energy with just one step. I'm more of that gliding runner where I think, I may be wrong, I didn't check your numbers, but I think your vertical oscillation will be higher than mine because you're also going more in the air at each step, whereas I'm a bit more flat if we were to look at my profile as a runner.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, let's check this one out
Yeah.
as the next one. Vertical oscillation, what do you have, Josh?
I had 8.94 centimeters.
Yeah, and I was right. I'm 8.6 centimeters,
Yeah, yeah.
8.60, meaning that every step, your chest or your hips, for that matter, go up and down on average 8.94 centimeters. Whereas I'm going up and down a bit less, meaning that I'm using my power to move a bit more horizontally than vertically. And therefore, I think your form power will also be higher than mine. What's your form power, Josh?
My form power is 72 watts.
Interesting. Mine is 75.
Oh.
So I am creating more form power. Form power is the component of power that serves that vertical movement primarily. And with mine being higher than yours, despite my vertical oscillation being lower, I see this as I'm definitely wasting some power
Somewhere Yeah,
in the
yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Again, this goes to your efficiency. You probably could lower your vertical oscillation and be a bit more, steady, gliding a bit more. But that's how you run. But to do that very high jump at every step, you do not use that much power.
It's not necessarily that if you have a high vertical oscillation, it's negative. It could also be positive depending on how it is as well.
Well, I think in general, the lower the better.
Okay.
But because yours is high, but with a lower power output to go higher in the air, it's not as bad as mine.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
is, I mean, but our numbers are fairly close
Yeah.
here. So,
Yeah.
Josh, now looking at something a bit different. What's your ground contact time? And ground contact time is a good proxy metric for responsiveness. The less time you spend on the ground, the less friction you have against something else, and the more time you spend in the air, technically, so the better. What do you have?
I have 174 milliseconds.
And I have 184. So at every step, I am losing 10 milliseconds against the ground compared to you that you're using to be in the air. And that's probably where as well, like this is at the same pace. You could run much faster paces than this and sustain them for a longer period of time. And I guess that's also, physiologically you're built differently. You have a different engine. That's one thing. But then mechanically, you're also more efficient. You know how to run better. You have a better technique. And this is what it shows, I guess.
Yeah, this might also play into the fact that like my vertical oscillation was different because I had a different ground contact time. I was kind of putting more power down to go a bit higher.
Yeah, being a bit more snappy as well at every
Yeah.
step. We have two more metrics to uncover here, Josh. The first one being leg spring stiffness. So leg spring stiffness, remember, is a metric that, we need to do a metaphor here. Your leg is like a spring, and it's loading energy, and leg spring stiffness is that metric of how much energy your leg is able to store and then to release at every step. Just like a spring that you would compress and it will release energy, your leg is just that spring, and this metric is just that. The higher the number, the better, because technically it means that you're storing more energy and you have that capacity to release more as well. What's your leg spring stiffness, Josh?
My leg spring stiffness is 12.9 kilonewtons per meter.
There you go, and I'm 9.5. And you go to the gym, I do not. Leg spring stiffness.
That's exactly what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same shoe, different people. No, yours is really high. I don't think I've ever reached that number, to be honest with you. At that pace, at least. Probably at faster paces I could get there, but also for a short time frame, so it's irrelevant. But comparing our leg spring stiffness is very interesting here, I think, Josh.
Yeah, and that might also play into the fact that I'm a bit more of a forefoot striker.
Yeah.
So my calves are kind of a bit more activated there. It's a bit more snappy. Whereas you're more of a heel to forefoot.
I mean, what I said earlier, you're more powerful. You're that strike runner, you know how to push, whereas I'm more of that, long
sustained.
distance.
Yeah.
And last but not least, there's one thing that super shoes do now, and that's protecting your legs, saving your energy, reducing your fatigue over the course of a longer race. And that can be measured, thanks to the STRYD pond, with impact loading rates. Impact loading rate, the unit is body weight units per second, and it tells you how much pounding you're putting on your feet, lower legs, and body in general at every second. What do you have, Josh?
I have 90 body weight per second.
And I have 80. So technically, again, you're more suited for shorter distances because every second you're pounding the ground and creating fatigue and impact for your body in a higher fashion than I do. Meaning that over the course of a marathon, I would probably feel less fatigue or have less impact coming through my body because of the running compared to you. Which is interesting because, you know, here we have definitely two different profiles, not just the level of running, but also the races and the distances that are working for us, I guess. Josh, last thing that I think would be interesting to show is the footpath visualization of our running. We're different runners, we have different gait cycles, and the footpath visualization tool on the Power Center is a nice way to understand how you're running, how you're striking the ground, how your back kick looks. Are there any discrepancies between the two legs? So we'll put mine on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of your screen where I am, and Josh's footpath will be on the right-hand side of the screen where you see him right now. Josh, let's look at the lateral sides, looking from the left-hand side. So yeah, we have the same view here. What I think is interesting when I look at the two is that both of, actually no, yeah, you're much more symmetric than I am. My left leg doesn't have exactly the same footpath as the right one, whereas yours, you're really aligned right and left. Do you want to check maybe from a back perspective how it looks? Again, I think this goes to show, this is the front, flip 180 degrees to the back. Yeah, perfect. You are really, really symmetric. It's quite impressive how symmetric you are. Also, the dispersion is way less on your graphs, meaning that you're much more condensed. You have probably a better core, a better running technique as well. Mine, as you can see, has much more dispersion here between the inner line and the outer line. I have that whole space here, which means that I'm kind of, you know, moving a bit more erratically. You are much more of a perfect runner in a way. Your graph looks really, really good.
But it's very strange because mine is almost like tilted slightly to the right, so I wonder what...
It is slightly, yeah. But then look at mine and feel blessed with yours. Check the top perspective maybe quickly, just to see. I mean, it's going to give a sense of, it's going to give a good sense of the balance here as well. And this is basically if we were to put a camera on the ceiling and have a transparent body, just looking at how our shoes would be moving, this would be the path of our shoes.
Yeah. So here at the front is where our feet are kind of touching the ground.
Exactly. Yeah.
And here at the back is where they're kicking back up.
What's interesting here as well is, again, you're a track runner. You have a very high back kick and very long back kick. You're spreading your legs much more than I do, and this is what it shows. Your graph is using, I mean, it's hard to tell exactly, but you're using almost 1.3 meters, I guess, whereas I'm using more of that 1.2. There's like a 10 centimeter difference in our stride length. Yeah, quite interesting as well here. Anyways, I think this is a good tool. It's probably more relevant to compare shoes against each other for the same person, like we did in the past on the channel. Yeah, and also to compare your runs in time. Like you said before recording this video, if you have an eagle, you can maybe spot it and compare against a run where you were pain-free. But yeah, a good tool. Josh, we did so many STRYD videos in the past. Thank you so much to STRYD for sponsoring this one again. Do you want to link to a previous STRYD video on the channel?
I'd say let's link to the Mizuno prototype range where we compare the Pure, the Elite, and the Pro and see which one's best for you.
Yeah, you can click right here if you want to check it out. And you can click over Josh's face if you want to subscribe to the channel. Josh, thank you so much for this. It was quite insightful. And let's maybe do more with different people here in the team.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your run today. Enjoy your ride. Go beyond your limits. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.